Good afternoon. Check, check, check. It's test, it's test. There you go. Test here. Microphone test. Hello. 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 Microphone test. Everything's fine. If you can hear me, that would be nice. If you can put it in the chat. Sure. First, no. right? Get it done. What? Right, so let's get it done. So this today we're gonna continue on working on the face. So one thing we're gonna do now is basically once we have, let's say, the like the base ready, right? We can wrap up one of the base mesh. For example, in this case, I'm gonna use bface. For those who don't know what is actually bface, bface is basically a website where you can buy different assets, like for example textures, um, like for animals, faces and stuff, right? So in this case, bface is like kind of sort of like a package where you can get when you buy it. Basically, when you buy it, you're gonna have all the maps. Like for example, let me show you here. You're gonna have the diffuse, the displacement, the utility map, and displacement RGB combined, basically, right? And one thing you're gonna receive as well is the base mesh, the same one that I have here, this one, and you're gonna receive as well another package which is basically the eyes. So we're gonna use both in this case. Let me actually show you what is inside the package, or let's say the folder. So you're gonna receive the head, right? You're gonna have the geo maps and everything, and then reference, which is basically like everything related to more oriented to look dev, but as well you're gonna have the HDRI, which is really nice for rendering, for example. We're gonna use later on when we start working on the look dev. In lighting, you have another reference wall. Like if you wanna use this one for, again, for look dev, this is very cool actually. Yeah, you can see all like the reflection and everything. It's very nice. You can even see the boards and everything. So this is pretty cool actually. So in this case, so we're gonna use the head. In this case, I'm gonna use, well, we can use the open. We have two models actually. We have one that has the eyes open, and we have another one. Actually, put it here, geo, copy this one, bring this one, paste it, and we can use the open eyes as well. So whatever actually suits better to you. I mean, we can use, in this case, we have the eyes open for the model, so we can use this one. Right, so one thing we can do in this moment is, since we have our base, let's say this is our model, even though this one doesn't look right, I mean, it has like a lot of let's say proportions issue, but like I said yesterday, I'm not gonna worry about anything related to, you know, fixing proportions like in the base in this Dynamesh, because as you can see right now it's pretty heavy and it's really hard to move it around. So one thing I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use this one basically and wrap it up in like on top, sort of say, right? I hope. Let me check the audio once again. I hope. Test. Let me check the audio once again. I hope. Test. Let me check. Perfect. So let's do the next. We're gonna bring one thing that I always like to do is checking that the scale actually works. But right now my head probably is not in the right scale, so I need to fix that up first. Like even if before do anything. So I know this mesh actually has like a right scale. So I'm gonna bring this one here. Gonna insert my model here. Let me see. So as you can see right now, my model is pretty small. Actually, in this case, I'm gonna do the opposite because I already have all the things in the other place, so I don't wanna bring all. Let's actually append eyes open. And so let's go back this one and append this one, the one that has the open eyes, the eyes open, sorry. And then one thing I'm gonna do is rescale it to the point that it's pretty much the same or close actually to what I have here. Usually it's like 10 times smaller depending of the scale of the original model, but it tends to be like in that number ish. So I'm gonna try to match as close as possible, and even if I'm gonna use a little bit of information here, for example the ears I like it, and I can use even like part, I don't know, like the eyes or something, but I'm gonna show you now how to wrap it. Let me see if I can match it here. But it's gonna be as close as possible. Here, gonna hide the mustache and the eyes. Yeah, this is good. So this is basically just a reference, right? So has to match and put it on top. So if you use the key arrows, so it's around the same size, the same space and everything. But of course my head feels like it needs a little more working, softness. It's like a little stylized. So I'm gonna try to smooth a little bit. And right now I have a problem here. Trying to smooth as much as I can. And of course, proportion wise it's not gonna match, but it's not a big issue because I'm gonna try to kind of combine it together. So one thing that I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna morph target this one, but actually let me do one thing before. I can try. I'm gonna add 6 subdivisions. and I'm gonna store morph target in the first one, like I'm going all the way to the first subdivision. And then one thing I'm gonna do now is, first off, yeah, there you go. And then when I have it here, is first off hide everything unless my base mesh and the head, like the head that I'm gonna match. And then I'm gonna use ZWrap, which is a plugin, right? So you can get it. Let me see if I can find it. This is, I think it's 3D Russian scan or something. 3D Russian. Well, actually, if you ZWrap, ZWrap is a plugin for ZBrush where you can basically adapt one model to another, you know, like wrap it basically. So let me show you how it works first. So when I go here, I'm gonna start wrap. There you go. Right. So what you see in the left is my base mesh, and what you see in the right is my sculpt, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use the mouse because right now this thing is a little bit thick. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna create the points of reference basically. So for example here, let me actually activate my, there you go. Because this model is symmetrical, we can use the topology, right? If I hop off here, you can see, hop on here, you can see this is like a, basically use symmetrical by using the topology. So this model actually topology wise is symmetrical. I don't know if it's symmetrical in the position of the vertex. I think no. Okay. So I'm gonna put one here, one here, oops, one here, one here, 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 right? So we're gonna have, there you go. And then here we're gonna do the same. Since my model is symmetrical, it's gonna match as well. So I have to make sure that it's exactly the same position and the same number. So I'm gonna use 8 here, 10, 12, 14. Let me see some here. If you see the points has to match exactly the same position as the other one, otherwise it's gonna cause problems. And we're gonna do the same for the nostrils, and we're gonna add one for the tip of the nose here as well. This model needs a lot of like fixing the proportion, but I'm gonna working on that now. So I'm gonna match here, 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 here. 20, there you go. And then finally the ears. So we're gonna have here, 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 and here. Same-ish. There you go. I think this is close enough. Okay. One thing that I forgot to do is before doing anything, you had to mask certain. For example, in this case, my model have like a inner mouth and a eye socket. So I don't want to actually wrap that, because if you, for example, if I do a wrap now, actually let me save first the points. One thing you have to do always before you do anything, before doing the wrapping, you have to save the points. So let me actually save it. So I'm gonna save it here, ZBrush. Let's call it, what is the name of this guy? Sam. Let's put Sam base mesh. Copy the name, save it, right? This is my base mesh and this is my sculpt. So I'm going to do the same, and this is going to be my sculpt. I'm going to save it. So I already saved this one, but I will need to do something before actually. But let me show you why I need to do it. Because if you do the wrap now, right? When I go to wrapping, if I go to start wrapping, this is basically it's gonna wrap my base mesh on top of my skull, basically, right? So this is like a voodoo magic, basically, in a way. But let me show you. You're gonna see a weird things going on, especially in the inner mouth. Let's wait. They're doing something weird. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me okay, if everything's fine. The music is in the right volume. If you need more, okay, so let me check here. Perfect. So okay, you're gonna see now if I press done, yeah, so you can see now, okay, this is the main issue, right? You can see here, for example, press W, my like inner, like let's say the eye socket is going, like it's doing really weird things going on there, and probably if I go inside the mouth as well, like you can see problems, definitely. Yeah, I mean, here's not a big deal, but I will need to mask it anyway. So okay, so let's go back. I'm gonna show you how to fix it. So I'm gonna go back before I actually wrap it, and I'm gonna do something really quick here, which is basically like masking the inner part of the eye sockets, or actually the eye socket itself, and the mouth socket. So we're gonna do some here. I'm gonna first, I might need to find, search, oops, there you go. So basically I'm gonna find the edge loop there, I'm gonna invert it and then press Ctrl Shift X to expand the mask, or in this case the visible geometry, and I'm gonna, let me see, I'm gonna try to find around here. Actually, I wanna preserve as much as I can here. Let me expand a little bit, and then here and here. So there you go. Now I'm gonna press Ctrl W to basically mask what I see, like what is visible. So I have a mask, well, actually a group, right? A poly group inside the eye socket, and then I'm gonna do the same for the mouth. So I'm gonna expand it. Yeah, I'm gonna, there you go. I mean, one thing you can do is basically do it only once, right? So basically do it all the polygroups and everything, and then you save the scene, like a C tool or whatever, and you can use it later, So you don't have to make it every time. Every time you're gonna do like a face, you have to do all the polygroups and everything. But it's good if you can show how to do it, because sometimes these kind of stupid things are very simple to do, but sometimes, you know, you can skip it, and actually it's gonna save you a lot of time. You know, try here. So I'm gonna try to do it as clean as possible. So there you go. Yeah, I like it. Probably less. I want to maintain. One thing that is important when you wrap it is make sure you have like the corner of the mouth masked, because usually that's actually the part that you're gonna have a lot of issues when you wrap something, especially when you want to transfer like the details and everything. So we're not gonna polygroup as well, and we can polygroup as well the ears. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So I now have. Oh, there you go. Let's do something here more easy. So I'm gonna mask it with the position there. Press W, Control W for masking. And I'm gonna, yeah, this is perfect, but I don't wanna, this one, I need to expand it a little more. So probably need one more here. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, so I have a mask for both ears. I'm gonna need one more here. There you go. Auto group. Okay. So this is the part where you're gonna see the result actually of using these groups. So one thing I'm gonna do is here I'm gonna isolate this group, and the same for the mouth, and the same for the ears. So we're gonna mask this, right, using Control click outside the mesh. Let me actually change background color because you can see better. There you go. Okay, so I have a mask right now, right? If you show everything, I have a mask for the eye socket, the mouth, the inner mouth, and the ears. So one thing I'm gonna do is invert the mask and press Control click. So which basically is, you know, like stop the soft a little bit the mask, and I'm gonna do the same for the opposite invert mask. So which means everything that is masked now is not gonna be part of the C-wrap, right? Or of the actually wrapping itself. So I'm gonna show you now what I mean with that. Is if I go here again and I go to start wrap, so if I go here and press load, I'm gonna bring up the SAM base mesh. Because if you don't save it before, if it didn't save it before, what's gonna happen is you have to do it all the way again, you know? I don't wanna spend time on that, so I'm gonna bring all. And one thing you have to make sure is this is only gonna work with this base mesh, in the sense of like if you have like a different polygon to whatever, it's not gonna work. And the same for the sculpt, right? So you have to do it, it's only gonna work once. So as you can see now, my model has this like a different color, right? Sort of like you have the blue, which is the one that is gonna wrap, and the green is basically the one that is not gonna wrap. So if I go now to start wrapping, so it's gonna wrap the base mesh again, but in this case it's gonna try to, you know, preserve the volumes of the original mesh on the parts that are actually masked. Let's wait a little bit. If you have any questions, for sure, make sure, like, feel free to ask. But But yes, basically, to like if you have any question about the process. Okay, so it's finished. I'm gonna press done now. So now you can see if I if I check the mesh, so you can see now that I don't have like any issue like here or here. Well, I have a little bit of issue there, but it's not a big deal. Like it's nothing like that I had before, for example, that I have a little issue with the eye socket. But the good thing I can fix it, like pretty easily. I have a little problem here with the topology, so I'm gonna fix it. And since we saved the morph target, right, from the original mesh, I can go to the morph target and I can switch if I want, or I can use morph if I wanna, I don't know, use the ears for example, or if I wanna use the eyes, right? So we can use certain part of the original mesh if I want, or I don't know, let's say I wanna use the nose. No, it's a bit weird because of course the proportion is different, but you can use if you want. It's very nice actually. But in this case, maybe the eyes I can use a little bit, kind of the shape of the eyes. I like it. Maybe the shape of the head as well. Kind of Frankenstein right now, but let's see. So yeah, so we're gonna now I'm gonna try to fix a little proportion now, because right now doesn't feel like it's gonna match 100%. And the eyes now feels like, yeah, you can see now it's very funny how it looks. Let's go back. Let's see with the other one. Yeah. So now that we have the base mesh wrapped, try something here. Yeah, I think if I need a little more thickness because right now it feels like a very thin. And one thing we can use here is, see, from here and lose a little bit of the shape. But yeah, I need to fix a little bit the shapes, a little bit the proportion now. That's normal. It's part of the process. Maybe one thing I can do now is I can try now, since I have the base mesh wrap it. I can try to trace over the reference, which is basically that's the part we need to. This is the part where we're gonna see mostly, you know, more like most of the how you call this, like the likeness, you know. Try to fix a little bit the problem here because right now it feels like the ears doesn't match the shape of the. So let's see. So let's bring the reference. Okay, so one thing I'm gonna do now is gonna try to trace over the reference. So we're gonna import sample. Let's use this one. Let's use this one. Just scale it a bit, then so it's basically this part is more about using the reference as a base to match, you know, to match the likeness. So this is a little tricky because you have to match it in one side first and then the other one. So this is like a little you need to go like very careful, you know, careful I would say. Let me try. Take it a little bit because right now the reference is like a little tilt. And I reduce the opacity. Okay. Okay. why I can't see the spotlight radius. It's correct. Oh, there you go. Okay, so now I can see my eyes are see probably need to add more like the my lens are like easily more flattened, has to be a little more flattened, so I'm gonna try to match as much as I can. I mean, it's not gonna match 100%, but if you can find something that is gonna look a little bit close. Then you can create a camera, like I can store the camera, for example, where I put, let's say, camera front. So we can use the camera front here. If you don't have it, like in my case, I have it in my interface, but if you can go here and then somewhere here, right now, documents. Yeah, I think it's document. Here is. This is not. I think it's this one. I can't remember which one it is, but there's like you can save the camera, like the point of the camera, and then you can basically move around and go back to the camera if you want. So in case, like, it's a way of basically saving it for. So I know my eyes, for example, needs to be a little bit. Let me. There you go. So what I'm doing here basically is tracing over, try to match the proportions as much as I can, but definitely this is not gonna work like 100% in the beginning. So let me check the thing here. Everything's fine, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to check proportion here, the ears. Can't see too much of the mouth though. Yeah, the mouth is around here maybe. Somewhere like hiding underneath the mustache. And the ears needs to be more flat, I guess. I have to fix a little bit the ears because right now it's kind of a little mix of what I have. There you go. Okay, I need to fix proportion here. Yeah. kind of weird here though. Again, I'm gonna change the color from time to time because right now, because that's gonna give you like a fresh perspective of what you're doing. Changing the color and changing the light position as well, like the lighting and everything. So I'm gonna try to change here maybe. Of course, I need more. Since I have topology now, I can, I can topology and subdivision. I can change the subdivision very easily, so I can add and more volume and stuff like a little more easy because I'm not constrained about my topology in the sense. I can move around. Reference on the side. Yeah, I have this one side view, which is really nice for reference. From this one, even though it's not like a perfect side view, but you can see like very easily and see the shape of the superficial arc. Well, you can see the shape of the nose. And I'm trying to fix the proportions a little bit. So I'm trying to check this kind of lighting. One thing you can do when you checking the reference is the the lighting difference between this area and this area, for example, is different, which means you have like a different plane. In my case, for example, I don't see like that difference, so that's telling me that I don't have like volume here is not enough. So I can even check like a different reference, for example, side view. Most of the views here, I don't have like a really good, the same lighting for like checking the proportions and everything. I'm gonna try to use as many as I can. So what is really nice for this angle. I'm gonna use a different alpha here. I'm gonna use 38 because that's give me like a different, like more volume in the middle. Trying to bring a little more shape to the nose. '50 maybe. This looks like a 50 millimeter. Yeah. Or maybe even less, like a 48 something. Because I can see, like, for example, the a very sharp or shallow, like, depth of field, but at the same time I feel like the face is like very, high colors, like pointy. So which means the lens that they're using here is like a very, like, let's say, like a low number in a sense. So I'll say around 48, maybe 55. A few more wrinkles here. I'm trying to do everything in my lowest resolution because it's easy for, like, sculpting the details and everything. And here it's like a small triangle that you always have in this area, especially in old people. Have this triangle here, tuck here, maybe a little more down. Mhm. Gonna try to emphasize a little bit more the shape of the eyelid, or the lower eyelid. It's like yeah. So let's check from a different angle. So you had to go back and forward, from different angles. It can't stay in one angle too much because you're gonna lose, like, you know the the sense of proportions and everything. So you need to go back and forward all the time. You can't stay only in one. It's, otherwise your model is gonna look really weird because it's gonna look right in one angle, but then when you go to the other side, it's gonna look a little weird. So you have to go back and forward all the time. Some people can see here, like, the bridge of the nose. I may need a little more squarish, so like a little more volume there. Even like the volume from the side view is not It needs a little more shape or something. The part is very sensitive because when you sculpt like this part, you have a lot of different planes and stuff, like shapes. And if you like move it in the like if you do something like very like you don't do it in the right way, it's gonna look really weird. Gonna be very patience in this area. Nose. So this guy has a little wrinkle there that is going this direction, this direction. Kind of weird. As you can see here, you have a little volume there, but like basically it's like you have the muscle and a little bit of fatness there going on, so it's a little mix. It's a little bit more. And if you remember from the last, like the last class, basically, one thing that I say is the distance from the anti-helix and actually the back of the ear has to be like a very, I say, like a short distance, because this is gonna help later with the scatter. So you have to make sure that when you have this, it's in the right place. Not too much though, because it's gonna look a little weird. But you're gonna see later on when we jump to Marmoset. Up south here. thing I can see here from this angle is maybe I need and check the like the line of the, for example, the nose here. My nose, yeah, maybe my ears is like it's a way. Again, you can see the kind of sort of the triangle there. So I try to sculpt and smooth at the same time. So adding volume, like not too much volume, very soft in a sense, right? See another reference here. Check another reference on the. So this, I like this reference here. I can see a little bit of the volume there. You see the nose is a little triangular. Have a little more volume there, but of course it depends of the the age as well, because actors and everything, of course, they tends to change a lot the face. um, depending of the role and everything, they're gonna have less or more fatness in the face. So you can't use like only one reference. I mean, you can use only one reference, but it's not, I mean, necessary. It's not necessary it's gonna match with all like the different references, say, because it's gonna change. Right. So I feel in this point, I can break a little bit the symmetry, because right now it feels like I have something, I have a base that I like, but in this point I can't nail. Well, I can't get the get the likeness because my model is like 100% symmetry, and that doesn't feel natural. So I might need to break the symmetry now. But I'm gonna save before because this. I mean, you need to save, of course. It's going to be version 4. So yeah, let me do something because this is important. Um, One thing you can do before actually breaking the symmetry is save the layer. So let me go to the solution 6, and I'm gonna layers, create a new layer. I mean, this is up to you. You don't have to, but it's pretty nice if you have like a layer for reference it. So I'm gonna call it a sim, and then I'm gonna break it. So let's turn off. Okay, so let's do another pass, but this time it's gonna be without like the symmetry activate sense, right? So that's gonna give me a list of instantly like more how it goes, like more natural, feeling. And I'm gonna sculpt a little bit of the secondary tertiary shapes, but mostly secondary. We try to match a little of the shapes that this guy have, which is a little bit like unique depending of the person. Features. For example, if I go for this angle, well, actually, let me see. Yeah, this one. I can see that the guy has like the nose, like it's not perfect. Uh, when you're working with the asymmetry, like with the symmetry off, one thing you're gonna notice is uh, you're gonna feel like the shape is gonna be more natural, like right away, because you're adding, like you're sculpting basically as you're sculpting organically in the sense like a real sculpt would say, of course in real life you don't have symmetry, so that's gonna give you like instantly like a more natural feeling. To bring a little bit of shape there, you're gonna see like the difference later. So of course the like the structure itself, like the skull, for example, of the guy, is it might be not perfect like any other person, human being. So which means like bone of the cheek is gonna be different from this side to this side, so it's not gonna be perfect. Even the muscles, the fatness of the face is gonna be different from one side to the other. So which means like when you sculpt with this with the symmetry off, you gonna try to you need to try to thinking of okay what is going on like in anatomy wise, uh, and actually use that to your advantage. And for ears, of course, ears is not like symmetrical. Clever. Ears and the head as well. You always have like bumps and stuff. See another reference is one for example that has a lot of information there. Can go to one solution more. Let me see if I can find. You can see a lot of information here. But this here I can see he have a lot of more fatness in the face, more volume compared with the reference from the from the show. One thing I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna use the mask. I'm gonna mask this one here, for example, with the transpose, and I'm gonna try to bring pull down this like a little like this skin holding basically, right? We're hanging, sorry. Same for the other side. Maybe check another reference. You see the nose. See, music. Well, I'm gonna try here. Add a little more volume. So right now I feel like he's like the shape of the head is like, I don't know, like too thin, I would say. Let's see if I can find. So I can see a little more of the shape. There you go. You can see clearly the shape of the jaw. I don't think that I'll have you. I'm gonna sculpt a little bit there. Remember that we have the muscle here that is the one that you can, move the jaw basically. It is connected around here. So you're gonna have. see this volume there, like this fold here, and then this fold here. So usually you have here around like 2 folds happening. The one that are happening there, like in the I think it's called like eye bags, but you have the other one that is basically going on there, like a fat deposit. Let's try to change the color a little bit. Yeah. Change the color and change the lighting. Trying to figure out whether something off here that I can't see too much. Maybe the mouth. Something about the shape of the face that is not working 100% yet. I mean, to be fair, like honestly, this part is you're gonna fight a lot with the proportions because uh, you're gonna see actually all the likeness and everything happening when you have the tertiary shapes and even when you start lighting the like loop depth, right? You're gonna see more likeness there. I mean, now you can see the shapes and everything, but once you have everything set up and you're gonna start doing the loop depth, then you're gonna see the real likeness happening there. Right now it feels, I mean, it's not bad, but it definitely needs like a little more. Let's do one thing here. I'm gonna save. Uh, I'm gonna compare with the model with symmetry off and symmetry on. Like this is on, right? Like symmetry, and then off. So you can see like now I can see more of the likeness and more like natural shape. But I feel like on this side something that is not working here is the distance. Yeah, maybe it's this one. It's the distance here. It like needs a little more depth. The sense. Yeah, if you can see here, for example, here this is nose. So yeah, my nose, my ears has to be a little more up, and then you have shape the shoulder. There you go. I think it's looking a little better now. Let's add the double chin effect here. A little more volume in there, like it's right now it's very flat. And add a little more folds there because this guy has a lot of folds, wrinkles and stuff, right? It's gonna give you like a little more information there for the likeness. Okay, let's compare now with this last push. Oh yeah, it now feels. You can see a little more depth. See, let me check. One thing here. Let's improve a little the shape of the neck. And you have one thing you can do when you do the jawline is you can separate in different groups. Like for example, you can separate this area here, and then you have like a little, like separation between where actually the jawline and sort of like the chin bone, not chin bone, sorry, the chin. It's kind of, you have different groups, right? So you have group here, you have a separation there, and then you have the chin group. This angle, you can see let's mask. These are the eyes a little bit. So when I move push a little bit more the eyes. Safer. Here. Let's merge this one. Well, actually, before merge, I want to do one more thing. I want to do one more layer. I want to test something here. The distance between the top of the skull and the middle of the eyes should be almost the same as the distance between the middle of the eye and the chin. So in this case, probably I might need the volume at the top. So if you get, let me check here. For example, this one. And see the distance between top. They're all same. So if you go here, 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 and then here. So yeah, my distance is a little bit needs a little more. There you go. Let's check now. It's better. I mean, it's very subtle, but it helps. So we have really good base. Let me check here. As you can see, I'm not worried about anything related to how do you call it, like tertiary shapes yet, because that's gonna happen when I bring the the porosity from B-face. So you're gonna see it now in a moment. But before even going to the porosity, I'm gonna do something here, which is basically bring the eyes that I have from B-face. I'm gonna say before. Let's save a new version. Save version 5. It's important to save very often. And I'm gonna bring because my eyes now, yeah, it's gonna look very off, very stupid. Yeah, doesn't feel like natural. So I'm gonna bring the eyes from what do you call it, like from B-face. Let me actually see geo. So in the geo, I think, like if you go to the folder, if you go to extras, you have eyes, geos. So what I did here, I create a C tool where you have everything, but I'm gonna bring as well the groom. I choose, let me check here. Right now, because yeah, exploit C face. Okay, let me delete everything here. Geo. Let me bring. Oh yeah, I know what I'm gonna do here. Gonna merge subtools, multi-append, and I'm gonna bring the eyes here. From B-Face. Okay, so definitely the eyes are too big. But it's not a problem, I'm gonna fix it now. So now I'm gonna transpose it because I have everything in one folder, XYZ eyes, like as you can see. So I'm gonna scale down, I think it's 0.5, no, 0.1, I can't remember now. So it's maybe a little less, no, actually more. So I'm using this one because I know that the texture that I have for this one is gonna work pretty fine. I mean the texture that brings that comes with the B face is gonna match with the eyeball itself, right? So you need to fix the the tear line or what is it called? It's like meniscus. This is the caruncle. So definitely this one needs to be more. It's not bad. Let me actually move only this one. In this case, I'm using the B-Face eyes, but you can, of course, you can make your own eyes. but it needs it needs time for that. So I don't. In this case, I don't want to spend too much time on the eyes because definitely is time consuming. So I'm gonna use this base mesh. I'm gonna adapt to my model. One thing you have to make sure when you do the caracal is how to make sure that you actually is touching the sclera, the eye itself, the mesh. But as well, you have to make sure you have a little space between the corner of the eyes and where actually the caracal is. Like it's not you know flat in the sense. You have a little depth there. Okay. Now that I have there, I'm gonna move the meniscus, which is basically you know the the tear line. Some people call it tear line, some people call it tear duct. Others, meniscus is the actually the kind of the anatomical correct way. So you have to make sure that actually is wrapping like all the way around to you know, the eye itself. Because we're gonna use this mesh to, add like the effect of the wetness of the eyes. Sketching top and bottom in the right place. There you go. Yeah, this is perfect. Since I have now the eyes, I can move around the shape a little bit of the eyelid because right now it doesn't feel like it's matching with the shape. There you go. Be more around here because right now it feels like flat. Okay. Notice here from this side, it's like my chin. Trying to use a more depth here because right now it feels like too flat. I'm trying to add a little more volume here because this area has, connects a little bit, connects with the eyes because you have muscle there like going on. Try, let me see the reference, another angle actually. and see a little of the shape of the connection here, like the eye socket. There you go. Symmetry as well on the forehead. Check another angle here. Can see a little of the volume of the Well, now one thing I'm gonna do is I think it's moment for adding the forest from XYZ. This is very simple actually because I have everything set up. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna merge this. Down. Let's call it fault. So this is before and this is after, right? Again, I didn't care too much about tertiary yet, but I'm gonna show you why I didn't care yet because I'm gonna add the tertiary porosity from B phase, and then we're gonna add the wrinkles at the end. For that, you need to do one thing here. So in the maps, there comes with the 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 pack. This one, yeah, this one. This place calibrated mid zero value. So you need to calibrate it for ZBrush in this case. Actually, I recommend follow this tutorial here. Let me show you. Because this is the way I did it. I'm not gonna do like the whole process again. But the good thing is you do it only once and that's it. But you can use this tutorial basically. And so you follow the tutorial and then you can apply the information to the base, right? So in this case, I already have it calibrated. So I'm gonna bring my displacement. Use XYZ this calibrated ZBrush. This one is a little bit heavy, so oh yeah, I need the texture. Okay, I need to add like texture here. Need texture, and then I can add the displacement. Let me see. Intensity 0.01 maybe. Here one. 25 maybe. Can add, let's say, 1, then I can reduce the yeah, I can apply as a layer later, and I can play with it with the value there, so I'm not gonna worry too much about the value now. But one thing I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna use intensity 0.5. So yeah, at the moment I can see the porosity and everything, but it's not applied to the mesh yet. So one thing I'm gonna do here is gonna first off save morph target, and then I'm gonna create a new mask, sorry, a new layer, and it's gonna call it micro. Oh, actually, this color details. And then I'm gonna go here, this pawn, and let's put in 1, and I'm gonna create. Actually, I'm gonna apply it. Yeah, it's gonna look awful, but if we go here and gonna reduce the intensity, say 3.4, 25. So yeah, now I can see the porosity from XYZ. And of course now I need to add all the wrinkles and stuff, you know. This is like a base, but the good thing I can add one layer more, say, let's say for example tertiary, which is basically all wrinkles, you know, molds and everything. And one thing that I like to do is when I work on the tertiary shapes is I like to turn off the details, like the layer, and then work on the tertiary. Like for example, let's say I'm gonna close. Let's use pen for it. Gave me like this brush for airbrushes. So this is really good for wrinkles actually. Smart. This one. Clay curve. Gonna give you like a difference between them standard is them standard is gonna give you like a very sharp wrinkle, but this one give you like a little more rounded like more, like the wrinkle is gonna be for the displacement and everything. When you add displacement layer, like for loop depth, it's gonna look more natural. So this one's gonna work better for adding like wrinkles and stuff. One thing that I like to do is when I'm working on wrinkles is I like to have the displacement. Let's try 25, because that's gonna give me like a little reference of, like I can see the flow of the how you call this, like the wrinkle itself, right? Like I can see the flow of the pores and everything, and usually wrinkles go in the same direction. It's very sensitive, so I'm gonna do it. Carefully. Maybe I'm going too far down. Yeah. So since I save a morph, I can morph back. Yeah, this part is gonna take a while because right now this is the part where you're gonna say we're gonna put like a lot of time trying to nail the lightness there. But this is gonna happen. It's gonna take a while. It's not gonna look good at the beginning. Checking the reference here. The thing you can do is when you do the wrinkles is actually do the wrinkle and then in the smooth out like the at the end, right? Don't lose, like it has to be like a little bit loosey or loose at the end. and the wrinkle never like have like a straight line, right? It's nothing like this. So you're always gonna have like, let's say, like a more bump and like more organic shape there. Some parts is gonna have more depth, others less, depending of. I don't see the. I don't see the top lip, but I know when you get older, you're gonna see like a little more of the muscle there. I play with the value of like the intensity of the brush, but as well with the size. So it's not always the same size. It's gonna give me like way more natural shapes when I'm sculpting. It's when I'm following the shape of the muscle that I sculpted before, right? Or actually in this case the wrinkles and the folds. Hey, okay. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, actually, kind of. You miss a lot of little step, but the good thing is this everything is gonna is record, so I'm gonna save it and polish it in my YouTube, right? So I'm later maybe this weekend we're gonna put everything together and actually how to call this like like put like a video with all the steps and everything. Yeah, so I'm using B-Face, which is basically like a good base for porosity and stuff, which give me like a little bit like a baseline, very good baseline. Let me see. Following like a lot of like the reference here. Of course, that problem is it's not like really high quality, so I can't see too much of the pores and stuff. But I'm trying to imagine, like, use my imagination here. Again, change the lighting and change the color time to time. Check. Okay, yeah, because I have the texture on here. Texture. Yeah, so I need to have like the texture on when I have displacement. So let's try with a different color. Actually, I like it more the other color, honestly. This color is more like a skin wise, more close to skin wise. Skin feeling, we'll say. Trying to match a little the wrinkles there. Yeah, so I mean, this that what you mentioned there is gonna happen always. You're always gonna have always gonna lose a little bit of kind of the volumes from the beginning. Actually, if I, well, let me see if I have it here. So when you transfer, for example, when you do the C-wrap thing, right, from your base, like let me show you. Like this is my basically. Let me show you for example here. This is my initial sculpt, right? So it wasn't that bad, and I have a little volumes there. But when I transfer to my base mesh, right, with the B face, when you transfer, you're always gonna lose a little like volumes and stuff. So it's matter of going back and resculpt everything. So that's why I don't like to spend too much time on this in this specific like in the sketch. Like I like to spend only like let's say on having like the base mesh, like the base volumes and everything, and then when I transfer to my base mesh, there is where I actually the fun begins. When I actually put like a lot of information there, as well. It's very important that you break the symmetry. I have everything combined now, but if you go back in the video later when I finish the thing, so you can go back and rewatch the thing, and you're gonna see like when I break the symmetry is where actually everything's gonna start looking like a little more natural, and you're gonna see like more of the likeness there. So yeah, so it's natural. It's gonna happen when you transfer the base mesh. You're always gonna lose volume, but yeah, that's part of the process. You have to resculpt thing. But yeah, so I'm using this way. Now that I have the little bit of tertiary, so this is what I mean in the sense of I like to have everything in the separate layer because, for example, right now I see like okay, my wrinkles maybe needs I don't know more depth or whatever. I can duplicate this one here, and I can have more intensity. But since I have the tertiary shapes in a different layer, you know, it's gonna combine, like it's gonna add on top of what I have right now, right? So yeah, this is, I mean, definitely this is not working with this, but I can keep going with it. And let me actually, I don't know what happened here. It's weird. So one thing that I like I mentioned before, is when I'm doing the wrinkles, is I really like to have like the displacement on. Actually, this is like a preview in a sense, right? It's not applied to the base, to the mesh itself yet, but this is gonna give me like a little reference of where I can put the details, right? Like the wrinkles. So another thing that that I want to mention, the Hannibal, is like this B face pack, the base mesh actually comes with the texture, right? So that's the good thing. I mean, it's the same as 3D Scan Store, honestly. It's exactly the same. The only difference is like you have more information. For example, you have different maps like Del Vido, but you have the utility map. If you go here, so it's more oriented to BFX instead of games. So you have all the information there, all the maps. You have diffuse, you have utility, which you have different like RGB channels for um, melanin, roughness, and cavity, and then you have the um, RGB displacement map for look depth. So you have more information for look depth, actually, for surfacing, rather than just displacement and the color itself. Yeah, so like, let's keep going with it. Yeah, you can keep going with it. That's the fun part, adding details. But volume here. The friends here have it in my like in a secondary monitor. I need a little more depth here to the wrinkles. This guy has a like a specific wrinkle there. You can use the elastic, which is a really good. Yeah, clay curve is a brush that actually is not mine. Is from Farid. He gave it to me on like in the Art Heroes course. It's very nice for wrinkles, but it's essentially is the same as Dem standard, but the alpha is different. I can't remember exactly what is the alpha that he used, but this is a different alpha because he actually, well, actually probably it's the same alpha. Now that I see, no, it's different. It's a little more sharp. Let me see if I can find the alpha here. Hmm. It's not this one, definitely. But yeah, it's a different alpha. Can see, can find which one is, but it's an alpha very close to the one that Dembe standard have. can give you like a little more. If you see, for example, the DEM standard is way more sharp. The clay curve is more soft, right? So it's not like a invasive in the sense. So it's not gonna break too much the shape of the how it goes, like the skin itself. And then you can use elastic brush for adding volume. It's very good when you have like this information there, like details and everything, because that's gonna give you like more volumes, like in specific areas, I would say. You know, see the eyes a little more. These are like a high quality reference because right now I want to see like want to see very close to like the pores and stuff. Right now, like yeah, everything feels like blur and low quality, like the reference stuff. But yeah, like fat deposit, right? Or like skin is not perfect in a sense, so you have fat deposit in different areas. And one thing you can do as well is a little trick to learn like long back ago is you can have much maybe you can have I'm gonna do it in a different layer. Put noise, it's called noise, and then I'm gonna use the standard with the spray, and then I can add like a brush, like a alpha of let's say 42, and then with a low intensity here, like let's say 10, and add like bumps and fat deposit in the face, like around. And since it's a different layer, I can, reduce intensity. Because the skin is not perfect, so you're always gonna have like Let's move David. Okay, so then since I have a different layer, I'm gonna reduce the intensity. Because this is too much right now, like it's exaggerated on purpose. So let's say 0.4. It's very subtle, but you can see like a little volumes, fat deposit, that happen always in the face, especially in this kind of faces. Very subtle. So yeah, one thing that I like to do now is, since I have something that I like a base or something, I'm gonna do a quick render in Marmoset in this case. I mean, you can do it in Maya with Arnold or whatever, right? So it doesn't matter. Point with this is like we're gonna see, how much of the sculpt that we have done actually works with the like a real lens, real camera, real lighting and everything, right? So we're gonna bring Marmoset. Actually, let me export this one here. I'm gonna export level instead of the first level. I'm gonna export the second level, which means I'm gonna have more information there, like more details in the sculpt, say, like pretty much from the mesh, Gonna activate the details. So that's gonna give me a little more information there, and I'm gonna export it as a FEX. Let me actually go here, workshop. I have a folder here, export. I'm gonna create a new folder, call it, what's the name again? This guy is Sam? No. Yeah, Sam. Save it as FEX. I'm gonna save it as FEX because I wanna preserve the poly smooth, because if I export it as a OBJ, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna lose the poly smoothing group, sorry. So everything's gonna look like square, or how you call this, like face, like you're gonna see all the face and everything. Let me actually do a compare. Okay, so I'm gonna export the OBJ as well, so you can see the different J format. Yep. Let's bring. I'm gonna do something here. Let me see if it actually works. I'm gonna create a new scene. Marmoset. Set, and then I'm gonna create split. This is display capture. Actually, yeah, it doesn't work, so I'm gonna move this guy here. Didn't work the way I expected. Anyway, so I'm gonna use classic here. Render. I'm gonna load. I'm gonna bring the model here. Sorry, export. Okay. This is the model. So this is the FX, and I'm gonna bring the obj here, so you can see. Well, actually, it works for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't work. This is the obj. It's the FX. Well, it works. That's great, actually. But I'm gonna keep with the FX. So one thing I want to make sure before anything is actually make sure that my scale is correct. So as you can see, my model is pretty tiny, pretty small, like it's nothing basically. So I'm gonna check the scale here. I'm gonna use meters. Actually no, I'm gonna use centimeters. 10 for example, factor of 10. So my model now is 10 times bigger than the model that I have in ZBrush. So why this is like looking at different direction? Okay, this is weird. Let me bring this up again. For some reason it's looking like it's rotated to, like, I don't know, for different direction. But anyway, so it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna do something quick here. I'm gonna first off put the environment. Let me actually change to something more like the sky or something. Yeah. Studio. It's new actually. Let me try this one. I don't know. This lighting is pretty, like, it's insane. Like the contrast you have, it's crazy. Actually, let me see if I can use the one that comes with the B face. Gonna load image. I'm gonna bring this one. In extras, you have, sorry, reference, you have HRI. I'm gonna use, there you go. Yeah, this one is a little more neutral. Let's leave the intensity here. I'm gonna create a new camera because I want to change first off the the camera lens. See the safe frame because I want to see where's actually the camera looking at. Maybe I'm gonna use like a 85. So I'm trying to match, at this point I'm trying to match like a reference something, you know? Because here is gonna, where we're gonna see like the likeness going on there. I can try like do another lighting maybe. I'm gonna duplicate it. And let's try if I can find like a sunny summer, say summer. And try. But it's good if you have like different like options there. Because right now I'm gonna use one of the template, the scheme, because that's gonna give me like a, you can see more information there. And let's use ray tracing. Too much. Usually just like around. So I have it. Let me check something here. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Oh, there you go. Okay, now it's working. I don't know why it didn't. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. Tracing give me like a little more depth, you know? This one here, one thing I'm gonna do in the camera is I'm gonna add a little depth. I mean, the point with this is like trying to mimic as much as you can the reference that I'm looking at, but definitely the lighting is, I think, is the hard, like the tricky part, because trying to match exactly the same lighting is not like it's not easy. Let's see if I can find something more this more. Let me add one light, like manual, like directional light, and then I can use this light controller, which is really nice for placing the lights. Change as well. Color of the material, because right now it's too much white, and then change the roughness, because right now it's like too shiny. Let's say 4. That's the roughness I usually use like as a base, 0.44. It's a really good like number for skin. And then I like to use specular 848. change a little the diameter of the. Let me show guys. So you have a little like a soft. If you change the diameter of the light, you're gonna have a little more soft lighting. The shutter, in this case, I can use something between 8 and 4, like around here. So I like it, but of course I don't have like any information from the pores, right? From the porosity. So one thing you can do here is you can bake down this as a normal map. So I'm gonna export normal. So this is going to be on my C plugins. Going to multi-map exporter and then go to normal. So activate normal. Going to export options. And here I'm gonna export it from, instead of the first subdivision, I'm gonna use the second one because it has more information, like more polygons basically. So I'm gonna use subdivision level 2. And here I'm gonna leave everything by default. The only thing I'm gonna change here is flip G. I think by default is off. I'm gonna leave it on. And I'm gonna export it as a AK map because it's only one UV, right? So it's better if you have like everything, all details. Gonna export it here, textures. I'm gonna create a new carpet, new folder. It's gonna go Sam. Here I'm gonna use brush. Save it. There you go, 45 seconds. And then I'm gonna export as well displacement because I'm gonna use it later for texturing. So I'm gonna use the same. I'm gonna use the second division as a base, and I'm gonna leave smooth UVs, and I'm gonna use 32-bit EXR, and my mid value is gonna be 0. And yeah, that's it. I don't think to change anything else. Gonna export in the same folder. Textures, Sam, ZBrush. So yeah, this is the, for me this is like one of the like the, I feel like they enjoy more in the sense, like because I have, like when I start working on the Nukde and I start seeing all the things going on, like the details and everything, this is where actually the fun part begins. But yeah, so I hope you guys actually liking it so far. Let's use the normal map. Texture, Sam, ZBrush. Yeah, so this is flipped, as you can see. I guess because I use I flipped it in when I export it, but that's okay because if you're gonna use it for something for Arnold, that's correct. So the only thing you have to do here is basically just flip the Y axis and that's it. So now this looks correct. There you go. So yeah, now I have my base. Let's call it some skin. So I'm gonna add the secondary. One thing that I like to do is if I go to the color and add it like a black color, I can see basically the reflections, right? So one thing I can do here is I can add like a secondary reflection, or better call it, like you can call it clear coat reflection, clear coat. And I'm gonna use roughness, and I'm gonna use specular skin. So this is gonna be like a secondary layer of roughness or shininess, I would say. But this one is going to be more. I'm gonna use it later for doing like a sweat and like a secondary reflection in a sense. But it's gonna make more sense when I have like a mask, you know, like actually maps that drive it, like drive it. But it's gonna be very subtle. I'm gonna use like a low number. First layer of reflection, and then I have my secondary layer of reflection. There you go. So then this one here. I'm gonna save this actually. Render. Div city1. And then I can play with a little bit of skin information there, like scatter, I would say. And I'm gonna use the volume scattering. So you can see now I have like a little information there, like there's scatter going on, which give it a little of realism. But I like to play with the anisotropic value. We change the lens, and let me change as well the lighting. That is too much. Plenty. Gonna add like a secondary secondary because it's like a secondary light, and it's gonna be a omni light. Because I like to actually give it like a little of shape there, because in real life you usually use soft boxes, like the one you have here for example. This is a soft box, so I'm gonna try to use the same but in 3D, but coming from the back in the sense. So this is gonna give me like a little more like studio light here. Much maybe. Try 6. Maybe you have to reduce the in. Algorithms. Do you guys hear me okay? Algorithms. Do you guys hear me okay? Because when I render, like sometimes I have like a little problem with the microphone. But I guess everything's fine. That's good, man. I can put it like a little more. Let's see. I really like your name, Aceite Axilar. It's nice. Aceite Axilar. Let's save it. And of course, right now it doesn't have like eyes, which like doesn't feel like natural. So I'm gonna bring the eyes from this guy, from ZBrush, but I'm gonna export it as a zipper mesh because I wanna have like a different mesh, in a sense. So I'm gonna go here, Sam, call it Sam eyes. Let's save it as FX. In this case, I'm gonna export everything that is visible. Yeah, there you go. Check here. Perfect. So I'm gonna bring this guy here. First off, one thing that I like to do here is organize a little bit this, because right now it's a mess. So I'm gonna group this one here, and then I call it little one char, and you can group this one 02 underscore so all my cameras gonna be inside this group. The same for lighting. It's gonna be 03 underscore L. So because in that case it's more easy to turn off things and I can go here and do everything at once. And I'm gonna bring my eyes here. Export some eyes. All right. Now, so as you can see, I have a bunch of different stuff going on, but good thing is we can organize a little bit the thing here. So first off, I'm gonna create a group as well for my materials, right? Because again, it's gonna be a mess. Like it's gonna be a mess if you don't like organize. And everything from here to here, I think I have to do it manually though. What's this? Wireless. Gonna create a new material. I'm gonna call it sclera, which is basically the the white part and everything from the eyes. And I'm gonna save it in a new. Well, actually, gonna save it in the same skin. So I have this folder called skin. Let's add it. So it's having like a little skin going on there. Let's leave it there. There we go. And then we're gonna create a new one, and it's gonna call it Caruncle. The Caruncle is basically um, this part here, right, that connects with the sclera and the eyelid itself. Tear duct. Yeah, he's called it tear duct, but that's not correct actually. It's not the correct name. It's Caruncle or yeah, Caruncle, that's the right name. And then gonna put it in the folder of skin. And then I'm gonna put it like volumetry skin because it's skin material. Then I'm gonna create a new one. I'm gonna call it meniscus. Meniscus is basically the line that going like go all the way around in the eyes, right? In the sclera. Basically the water that connects the eyelid with the eye basically. And this one I'm gonna this color Caruncle. Okay, this right? Yeah. And then this one here, meniscus here, here. But this one is gonna be like basically reflection. Well, let's say reflective with a very low number of roughness. It's basically a water. I don't know if you have a water here. No, I don't have water. But basically, it's water, right? Like the value of water in the sense of like the numbers. So usually water has like around roughness is around 0.150, 0.1 like ish. So it's around here. And then in this case I'm gonna use specular. So let me actually close. Let me be a little more closer here. So you can see now it has a little reflection there. If you go like too much. Of course, this is too much. So you can see the reflection there. Maybe a little more roughness. 750. And then I'm gonna add reflection. Or in this case, I think it's called it transparency. They go like, no, this is not cut out. It's dither, I think is no, yeah, dither. So you have this little like this connection between the sclera and the eyelid, and they give you like a little more realism instantly. And I can add scatter because it has scatter as well, and not too much though. So the transition there is gonna be more. It's gonna be more natural. The charcoal needs can reduce a little more the color there. Can put like a little more. Yeah, at the moment I don't worry too much about the. I'm not worried too much about the color, like the texture and stuff. Uh, so I can play with a little of the post process here, just to have a little more contrast in the lighting. But you can do it in Photoshop or something, you know, like more, like you have more control. This is more like a reference, so you can see from like neutral to something more like it's there. Let's try with different lighting. Going to be in chart, so I can bring that up very easily. Let's save this. Now let's try with a different lighting here. I like to play with different lighting situations because this is going to be more like more, you know, like more kind of like different lighting scenarios, you know. So for example, let's say something more like maybe like interior light. Let's try. Sure. And of course you can use another one. I'm gonna duplicate this one, and then I'm gonna use one of my favorite one, which is from H3I Haven, which is a website for H3I, and actually it's very nice. H3I Haven. Very cool for like for HDI, and you can have like a really high quality like HDI, right? Basically. So let me bring that up here, chat here. So this is for free. You can see you can have like a bunch of options there. The one that I like is Artist Workshop. This one. I think this is the best one for loop dev. It's very nice. Sits. Because this give you like a very nice soft light. Let me try to change the color here. Something more. Close to skin. But yeah, I have different lighting situation there. Yeah, this one is the best one. It's for looking like you can see better, like you can see the skin details. Very nice. But now that I see, let me actually thing that I noticed is my nose is very flat. Doesn't have volumes. Like the volume is not correct. So that's the way I like doing the likeness, the look dev. The likeness is gonna happen in the look dev usually because that's where you're gonna see all the volumes and everything. Let me change here something. Bounces. Let me add more bounces. Try like a more square proportion. Let me see, 1000 by 1000. I like to tip is I like to have like one side of the viewport, the camera that I can move around, like I can move the light the light and everything, and the other one I have it for shots for the camera, so I don't move this one here, so I can block it if I want, I can block it, and then I can move here, can move the guy if you want, can move the camera or whatever, so it's more easy to manage the scene. So I can see where it's coming from the light here. Example, this light here, which one's here? Okay, so then when you have everything in place, you can do a render. Let me do like a quick render. So I'm gonna save because this is gonna give you like a reference of the process. Oops. Um, because this is gonna give you like a track, you know, something that you can follow and see. Okay, what is the where you can improve or where you need to like add things or remove things. So you always have to have like a render at the end of the day, especially when you do look depth. So I'm gonna render here, render image. Put the camera here, camera one. Render cameras, and I'm gonna change this one and then render it. Stop this one. So this is my render. Okay. So this is the first look depth. So from now on, I'm gonna keep working on this and adding more details and everything, but using this one as a reference. Like, okay, I know that I can see all these wrinkles. I can add, definitely gonna add more wrinkles in the eyes. Like I need to add more wrinkles here as well in the lips. The nose feels very flat at the moment, so I'm gonna add more volume there. So this everything's gonna work like on top of what I have now, in order to get like something that looks right. But yeah, at the moment looks like a regular base, but then we're gonna keep going and try to you know close it to this guy as much as it can. But it's not bad. I mean, it's not that far though. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not that far. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap it for today. I hope you guys like it, and again, if you like it, you can subscribe or whatever, and we're gonna keep doing this tomorrow. Yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye bye.